And as you can see, I have read a lot this year. What's up everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is your host Utkarsh, and in this video I'm gonna talk about books. And as you can see, I have read a lot this year. Fiction, non-fiction, self-help, educational. So I've divided this video in two parts. In the first part I have talked about all the fictional books, and in the second part I have talked about all the non-fictional. By the way, these books are not released in 2021, but I have read in 2021. So I really used to read 4 or 5 books in a year, and sometimes just one in a whole year, and mostly murder mystery by Agatha Christie. But this year I made a target of reading at least 52 books, and that decision brought so many good books my way. 6 months have gone by and I have read almost 28 books, which leads to the ulterior motive of this video. I wanted to brag about all the books I've read so far. So without any further ado, let's start with the video. I wanna start with the classic murder mystery thriller. Hence my first recommendation is And There Were None by Agatha Christie. I think by far this is my favorite murder mystery by Agatha Christie. No wonder she is known as a queen of crime, and this book definitely do justice to that title. It's one day sitting read, totally a page turner. I took 2 days because I wanted to solve the puzzle on my own, which I didn't, of course. For warning, there's scarcely any comfort to be found in this book. People are gonna die one by one. So the plot of the story is that there are 10 strangers gathered to a remote island, which is cut off from the outside world. Almost as soon as everyone gathered together, a recorded voice booms throughout the walls and accuses each of them being a murderer. Of course, everyone proclaims how preposterous all these accusations are. However, within few minutes, one of them dies immediately. As the body kept rising, they faced the fact and concluded one of them has to be a killer, considering there is no one else on the island. And now they have to figure out who is that killer before it is too late. I don't want to give it more away. I highly recommend this book if you like playing detective who likes to solve unfathomable cases. BBC also made a mini series on this book in 2015. Of course, they have done some alteration to wrap up the story in 3 episodes, but the book is masterpiece in itself. My favorite quote from the book is, "But no artist, I now realize, can be satisfied with art alone. There's natural craving for recognition that cannot be gained." I want to read at least 2 books by Agatha Christie each year because she is my favorite when it comes to murder mystery novels. You guys can also check out Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. That is also a wonderful murder mystery. Moving on to my next recommendation is CIRCE by Madeline Miller. It's a historical fiction, Greek mythology to be precise. This book is about love. The love you must find in yourself, the love of a mother, the love between lovers. I have a genuine love for Greek mythology, but it also sounds intimidating at the same time. The literature is so mysterious and beautifully written in this book that you would not only fall in love with the character CIRCE, but also the author Madeline Miller. This book got everything: gods, demigods, sea adventures, sea monsters. So the story is revolving around a female protagonist, CIRCE, who is actually a nymph, which is a nature deity. She is the daughter of Helios, the god of sun and the mightiest of titans. She is neither powerful like her father nor alluring like her mother. She is basically considered the black sheep of the family, and her siblings Pasiphae and Perseus aren't fond of her either. There would be no glimpse of utopian world among gods. Gods aren't about righteousness, they approve power, and if you're anything less, you would always be made fun of. Everything exists for the pleasure of gods, or as they believe. After living for ages among gods, CIRCE turns to motto for companionship and love, where she discovers she's more than just a loser. She knows witchcraft. The moment Zeus gets the tea, he banishes her to an island named Aiaia for eternity. From here, her story begins. Throughout this novel, I developed a deep admiration for the character CIRCE, and I'm sure this character will stay with me forever. I highly recommend this book if you want to read something magical. This book is just a collection of best quotes, and my favorite quotes from this books are, I would say some people are like constellation that only touch the earth for a season. I thought once that gods are opposite of death, but I say now they are more dead than anything, for they are unchanging and can hold nothing in their hands. I'm definitely going to read The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. So my next recommendation is The Language of Flowers by Vanessa Diffenbaugh. This is a love story and one of my favorite. A book you wanna read with a warm cup of coffee. I remember I was so immersed in this book and enjoying the fictional world so much that I almost forgot about pandemic. I laughed and cried with this book. It's such a good story. It's about a girl named Victoria Jones who has lived all her childhood and teenage years in foster care system, switching from one home to another. She has lived in total 32 foster homes until emancipated with no home. She rarely used words and resorted to the language of flowers for communication, a language that is invented in Victorian era to convey a secret message between lovers, and here she was using to spread animosity. Like she would give you a thistle to express hatred or lavender to express mistrust. first. It was weirdly cute and funny because people barely understood what she was trying to convey, and she also kinda liked it that only she knew what she meant, until she met this guy who understands the secret language of flowers, and she doesn't like it. The story kind of unravels from here and gets seriously emotional. This book will get you the feeling of warmth and cozy. Because of this book, I end up buying a flower dictionary for myself by Mandy, Kirby. If you love atmospheric kind of love story where author uses nature to narrate their story, then this is the book for you. I highly recommend it. My favorite quote from this book is, "Moss is selected to be the emblem of maternal love, because like that love, it gläds the heart when the winter of adversity overtakes us and when summer friends have deserted us." So my next recommendation is The Art of Racing in the Rain by Garth Stein, now a major motion picture starring Milo Ventimiglia, Amanda Seyfried, Kevin Costner. This book is especially for animal lovers, to be precise dog lovers. It's a feel-good book. The most important funny thing about this book is that the whole story is narrated from a dog perspective. It's a story about a dog named Enzo and his master Danny. Enzo knows he is different from other dogs with a nearly human soul. He's a philosopher who believes that life, like race, isn't about just going fast. He has educated himself by watching television extensively and listening to his master words closely. Enzo loves whenever Danny talks about racing because he believes that's when he shines the most. This book will make you sad, it will make you laugh, it will make you reflect upon the way you do things. Totally a page turner. You will never for a second be bored. I highly recommend it. If you are animal lover or dog lover, you will relate to it on another level. My favorite quote from this book is, "There's no dishonor in losing the race. There's only dishonor in not racing because you are afraid to lose." So my next recommendation is Pet Sematary by Stephen King. And Stephen King did a horrendously remarkable job. For warning that this book is not for vanilla pricks like me. I don't know on what sinister day I thought I could read a horror book by Stephen King and not get nightmares. At first I thought I won't be scared as much as by a book. It's just an author trying to scare you with a fictional story he made up in his mind, and that was the biggest mistake I have ever made. This book will give you an eerie feeling that will stick with you at least for months. It scared the shit out of me that I wanted to hide this book somewhere I won't be able to see it. So the plot of the story is that Louis Ludlow and his family recently moved to a new house. Behind this house there is a path that leads to a pet cemetery where children from surrounding areas have buried their beloved pets in the years gone by. If you wanna get more enhanced experience, you can get the audiobook read by Michael C. Hall. Yeah, Dexter reading and horror story. As if story wasn't scary enough. I don't know why Audible doesn't have the audiobook of Pet Sematary. It did such an amazing job. My favorite quote from this book is, "And the most terrifying question of all, maybe just how much horror the human mind can stand and still maintain a wakeful, staring, unrelenting sanity." So that was it for the fictional world. Now let's get into the non-fictional world, part 2 of this video.